Supervisor of Elections, Mr. Elvis Moraine, says in investigating claims and objections made to the office, they have found that in several instances there were not enough facts to back the claims. Moraine outlined some of the key areas they received the claims and objections on.
Now, we receive on the 7th, from one person, we receive 45, and that was inclusive of 27 of the objections we were working on before. Right, so in essence, it's about 18. We received 15 from another, and I'm saying agency because I'm not sure if it didn't say, okay, you might know the person, but not the political party. And we noticed that there are 3 persons who are common to both of that, right? And then we received another 25. And there we had mostly deaths. Well, as I said, presumed to be dead, because we have since proven that some of the list of deaths are not always accurate, right? So we had that, and we had about 6 persons relative to, in terms of a residency issue.
The Supervisor of Elections explains that in many instances the claims had no grounds for objections and even created uncertain moments for some individuals.
In the South, St. George's South, someone brought a claim for about 61, dead person. And it was an interesting experience because our first, and I want to say to the public, our first line, we look at it, and because it's death, you can't write to anybody. But if sometime, so what we do, we then start to do our own search. And interesting in that scenario last week, when we were trying just call to a cert, because we're calling now, which even though you call and you say, okay, the person died, we can't remove them, so we need information. So you say, okay, well, do you have a death certificate? Because that would authenticate that the person died. And, it was interesting last week that some people didn't take it kindly. Because in some cases that we call, was the person on the other line, you're saying to them that
individuals making claims in the future are advised to ensure that there are sufficient facts to back up their claims.
So we have deaths. Deaths basically is our biggest category. We have residency as another one. We have migration in terms of someone claiming that someone has been out for more than the prescribed period. We also have an interesting one. Cannot be identified by that name and occupation, right? Interesting. We have that. And of course, the last one we have relative to people's on the police voters list.
Maureen was speaking at Government's weekly post-cabinet briefing. For GBN News, I'm Rena Pett Thomas reporting.